Hi, I'm Colleen Atwood, costume designer for Masters of the Air, and I'm going to walk you through some looks for the show.
Let's rack them up and knock them down.
Masters of the Air is about the B-17 pilots that came over to the UK and flew missions over Europe during the Second World War, and they also became prisoners of war.
Welcome to Starlight Blues 3, boys, where you're gonna spend the best years of your lives.
I found quite a bit of original insignia, but I had to make some insignia to match because there wasn't enough to go around for all the rank, because not only did I have 300 speaking parts, I had at least 300 or 400 extras a day.
Rank has its privileges, boys.
The hats were one of the most difficult things to find because there were a few original ones that I got from a place here in Los Angeles. But in order to have them fit on human heads from today's world, they were all like really tiny. So I had to make all new hats and find somebody that really could replicate them with the buttons, the leather, all the elements that make them spectacular. The masks that they wear in the planes, I used original masks, but I had to repurpose them and refit them for the show. I kept trying to invent ways that they could be smaller and different because everybody wants to see the face. And I had to kind of repurpose them slightly to work, but they were all original masks, which is pretty amazing to be able to find that stuff in today's world. It was quite a few years ago. The boots I source from, there's a lot of reproduction houses that do those boots because people do reenactment. And so those sources come in handy for boot making. Egan notoriously had the white shearling jacket that was kind of an inside joke because everyone else made fun of it. There's a line where Clevin said he'd be the world's biggest target jumping out of an airplane in a white jacket. Austin Butler's character, Buck Clevin, was one of the great romantic pilots of the period. So we really wanted to capture the feeling of the sort of beauty of that character. So we used original flight suit and beautiful chocolate brown suit and handmade ties and the leather jacket that he wore. He has this jacket, NA3, which is a lighter weight leather jacket, but this was his signature look. When Austin came to the fitting, we just put all this stuff together. And, you know, Austin Butler looks beautiful in everything, but it was really fun to really find the character together with him in the room with the costumes.
What about that?
Rosie's jacket and costume is from the latter part of the war, because as the war went along, the technology improved. And one of the technologies in the clothing was the discovery of a lighter weight material that was warm and artificial alpaca that these guys could wear in the planes because the weight of the shearling was so heavy that it was exhausting, not to mention if they fell in the water, they'd be a rock. And then once they ended up in the camps, they received packages from the Red Cross. So you'll see our guys in British overcoats because as the war went on, the access to Red Cross was less and less.
You're...
Subaltern Westgate, your roommate. Oh dear. You expected a man, didn't you?
Well, the excitement of getting a woman was very tangible for us. And luckily we had women in the story. We had Belle's character who was in the military in the UK, so we had women's uniforms. And then we had our Red Cross girls who had really great clothes. And then a guy would give them a jacket with all kinds of patches on them. So we had fun with all those characters and textures of that around the base. And then we had parties, and every time there was a party, there was a dance sequence and music, so it was really fun. And we made a lot of clothes for all the women dancing. Well, this came in for Belle Pauley. She was actually a spy in the story. And Dee Rees, the director for that segment, really wanted her to pop in the environment and just be totally bold and She said, I love that color blue. And so we did that. And then I put the fuchsia dress as an homage to my grandmother's wedding dress, who was married at that time. The shoes are reproduction shoes that we had made to work for the show, and the purse is a reproduction purse. We couldn't really use real things all the time in those ways because of the size of people now compared to then. But we tried to be as honest and honor the period as much as we could. I think the idea of what this show was from the very start, it had so much heart, and you look back on it and you're just really proud to have been able to create a story that really felt integral to the way that point in history was.
We're gonna stick with our mission as long as we can fly.
We won't go without a fight.